In a small, lively school tucked in a modest town, lived a girl named Emily. She was poor, her clothes mended, her shoes nearly worn out. Emily stayed quiet, her gaze fixed downward, avoiding the chatter of her peers. She wasn't like them, her family scraped by, barely affording school supplies. Yet, Emily held a secret, one she kept locked away. No one knew what stirred in her soul, not her teachers, not her classmates. Each day, she sat at the back of the classroom, unnoticed, jotting in a frayed notebook. Her classmates teased her plainness, giggling about her tattered bag. But Emily didn't mind. She had something they lacked, a spark, a dream. The school buzzed with excitement for its annual talent show, a big event where students displayed their talents. The popular kids eagerly signed up, bragging about their performances. Emily, however, remained silent. The spotlight wasn't for her, or so she believed. One afternoon, her music teacher, Ms. Carter, caught Emily humming softly in an empty hallway. The melody was raw, enchanting, unlike anything Ms. Carter had heard. Intrigued, she called Emily to her office. "Why not sing at the talent show?" she asked kindly. Emily froze, her pulse quickening. Sing? In front of everyone? The thought paralyzed her. She shook her head, her voice a whisper. "I'm not good enough, ma'am." Ms. Carter smiled, undeterred. "You have a gift, Emily. Share it." Hesitantly, Emily agreed, unaware that this choice would alter her life. The stage was ready, and fate was calling. Emily's heart pounded as she left Ms. Carter's office. Singing at the talent show? The idea felt like a dream too big for her small world. At home, in a cramped apartment where the walls seemed to lean in, she sat on her worn mattress. Her mother, exhausted from long shifts at the diner, noticed Emily's unease. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" she asked, brushing a strand of hair from Emily's face. Emily hesitated, then shared Ms. Carter's request. Her mother's eyes lit up, a rare smile breaking through her fatigue. "You've always loved to sing, Em. This is your chance." But Emily wasn't so sure. She'd sung alone, in the shower, in the woods behind their building, but never for an audience. What if she failed? At school, whispers about the talent show grew louder. The popular girls, led by Chloe, strutted confidently, rehearsing flashy dance routines. They smirked when Emily passed, their giggles cutting deep. "Her? Sing?" Chloe scoffed to her friends. "She'll probably faint on stage." Emily overheard, her cheeks burning. Doubt gnawed at her. Maybe they were right. Maybe she didn't belong up there. That night, unable to sleep, Emily pulled out her notebook. Its pages were filled with lyrics, words she'd never shared, born from her quiet moments. She hummed a tune, soft and soulful, letting the melody wrap around her fears. It felt like a shield, but was it enough? The talent show was days away, and Emily's name was on the list. She could back out, stay invisible. Or she could try, just once, to be seen. Torn, she closed her eyes, the decision heavy on her heart. Emily woke with a knot in her stomach. The talent show loomed closer, and her decision still hung in the air. At school, the hallways buzzed with excitement, posters plastered everywhere, boasting the event's grandeur. Emily's name, scribbled on the sign-up sheet, felt like a mistake. She almost scratched it out, but Miss Carter's words echoed, "You have a gift." Could she really do this? During lunch, Emily hid in the music room, her safe haven. The old piano sat in the corner, its keys chipped but warm. She touched them hesitantly, playing a soft chord. Her voice followed, timid at first, then stronger. The song was one she'd written, about dreams too big for her world. For a moment, she forgot her fears. But then the door creaked. It was Sam, a shy boy who helped with stage tech. "That was, wow," he stammered, eyes wide. Emily flushed, embarrassed. Please don't tell anyone, she begged. Sam nodded, promising silence, but added, you should sing like that on stage. His words lingered, a tiny spark in her doubt-filled heart. Back home, Emily's mother handed her a faded dress, the only one they could afford to spruce up. It's not much, but you'll shine in it, she said. Emily hugged her, grateful but scared. That night, she practiced in front of a cracked mirror, her voice trembling but clear. The lyrics poured out, raw, honest, her story in every note. Chloe's taunts, the whispers, the fear of failure, they all faded as she sang. Emily wasn't ready, not fully, but something was shifting. A flicker of courage grew. The stage was waiting, and she might just face it. The day before the talent show, Emily's nerves were electric. School was a whirlwind, students rehearsed, teachers rushed, and the auditorium hummed with anticipation. Emily felt like an outsider, watching the chaos from the edges. Her name on the program, printed in bold, made her stomach churn. Tomorrow, she'd face the stage. Could she really do this? In class, Chloe and her friends were louder than ever, flaunting their glittery costumes. Hope you're ready to embarrass yourself, Emily, Chloe sneered, tossing her hair. The word stung, but Emily clenched her fists, refusing to let them win. She slipped away to the music room, her sanctuary. There, she found Ms. Carter tuning a guitar. Nervous? The teacher asked. Emily nodded, unable to lie. Ms. Carter knelt beside her. Every great singer feels fear. It's what you do with it that matters. Those words stuck. At home, Emily's mother helped her hem the faded dress, stitching love into every seam. You're braver than you know, she whispered. Emily wanted to believe her. That night, alone, she sat with her notebook, rereading her lyrics. They were her truth, her struggles, her hopes, her heart. She sang softly, her voice steadying with each note. The melody was haunting, a story only she could tell. As she practiced, Sam's words from the music room echoed, "Sing like that on stage." For the first time, Emily imagined the audience not judging, but listening. The thought terrified her, yet it also thrilled her. Sleep came fitfully, her dreams a mix of failure and triumph. Tomorrow was the talent show. Emily wasn't sure if she'd shine or crumble, but she'd try. The stage was calling her name, the talent show morning arrived, cloaked in a tense dawn. Emily woke early, her heart a drumbeat of nerves and hope. The faded dress hung on her door, a quiet reminder of what lay ahead. She traced its stitches, her mother's love woven into the fabric. Today, Emily would sing, not just for herself, but for everyone who'd ever felt unseen. At school, the auditorium was transformed, lights strung high, chairs lined in rows, a stage that loomed larger than life. Backstage, performers buzzed, Chloe twirling in her sparkly outfit, others practicing lines or tuning instruments. Emily clutched her notebook, her lyrics a lifeline. She felt small, out of place among the confident crowd. Ms. Carter found her, offering a warm smile. "You're ready, Emily. Trust your voice." The words steadied her, but doubt still lingered. As the show neared, Emily peeked at the growing audience, parents, students, teachers filling the hall. Her palms sweated. What if her voice cracked? What if they laughed? Sam, setting up mics, caught her eye and gave a thumbs up. "You've got this," he mouthed. It helped, just a little. In a quiet corner, Emily hummed her song, letting the melody calm her racing thoughts. The lyrics were her armor, each word a piece of her soul. She wasn't like Chloe, with her polished act, but maybe that was enough. Her mother's words echoed, "You're braver than you know." The first acts were called, and the show began. Cheers and applause filled the air. Emily's turn was coming, closer with every performance. She took a deep breath, her fear battling her courage. The stage was no longer a dream, it was real, and she was next. The auditorium pulsed with energy as the talent show unfolded. Emily stood backstage, her heart thundering. The stage manager called her name, and time seemed to slow. Her faded dress felt too thin, her notebook heavy in her hands. Chloe's performance had just ended, flawless, dazzling, met with roars of applause. How could Emily follow that? She glanced at the crowd, a sea of faces under bright lights. Her mother sat in the front row, her tired eyes shining with pride. That sight anchored Emily, pulling her forward. Ms. Carter gave her a gentle nudge. "This is your moment," she whispered. Emily nodded, swallowing her fear. The stage was bare, just a microphone stand waiting. She stepped out, the spotlight blinding. Whispers rippled through the audience, some curious, some skeptical. Someone muttered. Emily's knees trembled, but she gripped the mic. The hall quieted, every eye on her. She closed her eyes, picturing the music room, the woods, the places where her voice felt free. The first note of her song trembled out, soft but clear. It was her own melody, raw and honest, born from her struggles. The lyrics spoke of pain, of dreams, of rising despite it all. Her voice grew stronger, filling the space. The audience leaned in, caught by the emotion in her tone. Chloe's smirk faded, even she couldn't look away. Emily sang as if no one was watching, her heart laid bare. The hall, once restless, was now still, every soul hanging on her words. She didn't see it, but tears glistened in her mother's eyes. Emily was no longer the poor girl in the shadows, she was a voice, undeniable, unforgettable. Emily's voice soared, each note a thread weaving through the silent auditorium. The lyrics, her own, painted a story of struggle and hope, resonating with every listener. The spotlight no longer felt harsh, it cradled her, amplifying her presence. She sang of nights when hunger gnawed, of dreams that refused to die. Her voice, untrained but pure, carried a power that polished acts couldn't match. The audience was spellbound, teachers, students, parents, all frozen in awe. Even Chloe, backstage, stood motionless, her usual confidence shaken. Emily's mother gripped her seat, tears streaming down her face, pride swelling in her chest. Ms. Carter, near the wings, nodded softly, her belief in Emily validated. Sam, at the soundboard, forgot his cues, lost in the melody. The hall, packed with hundreds, felt intimate, as if Emily sang to each person alone. Her eyes, now open, scanned the crowd, no longer afraid. She saw faces, some tearful, some stunned, all captivated. The song's climax approached, a crescendo of emotion. Emily's voice rose, steady and fierce, hitting notes she'd never dared before. The words poured out, a cry for every underdog, every soul told they weren't enough. The final verse landed softly, a whisper of resilience. As the last note lingered, the hall remained still, breathless, as if afraid to break the spell. Emily lowered the mic, her chest heaving, unsure what came next. For a moment, silence held, then the room erupted. Applause thundered, cheers echoing off the walls. Emily blinked, overwhelmed. She'd done it. She'd shared her gift, and the world had listened. But this was only the beginning. Her life, her story, had just shifted forever. The applause crashed over Emily like a wave, loud and unrelenting. She stood frozen on stage, the spotlight warm, the crowd's cheers a roar in her ears. Her mother leapt to her feet, clapping fiercely, her face wet with tears. Ms. Carter beamed from the wings, and even Sam, still at the soundboard, joined the standing ovation. Emily's heart raced, she'd never felt so seen. The poor girl, always in the shadows, had lit up the hall. But as the cheers continued, doubt crept in. Was this real? Would it last? She gave a shy wave and hurried off stage, her faded dress trailing behind. Backstage, performers stared, some with awe, others with envy. Chloe muttered something sharp, but her voice lacked its usual bite. Ms. Carter rushed to Emily, pulling her into a hug. "You were incredible," she said. Emily managed a small smile, still dazed. The show moved on, but the energy had shifted. Emily's performance was the talk of the night. Later, in the quiet of the music room, Emily sat alone, her notebook open. She traced her lyrics, reliving the moment her voice had filled the hall. Footsteps broke her thoughts, her mother, still glowing with pride. "You showed them, Em," she said, voice thick. They embraced, the weight of their struggles lighter for a moment. Word of Emily's performance spread fast. By morning, classmates who'd ignored her now smiled, some awkwardly offering praise. Even Chloe stayed silent, her taunts gone. Emily felt different, stronger, but questions lingered. Could she keep singing? Could her voice carry her beyond this night? The talent show was over, but for Emily, a new chapter was just beginning. Emily's performance rippled beyond the auditorium, her voice now a whisper in every corner of the school. By Monday, the hallways hummed with her name. Classmates who once mocked her tattered bag now approached with hesitant smiles. "That was amazing," one said, stumbling over words. Emily nodded, unsure how to handle the attention. Her faded dress, once a source of shame, felt like a badge of triumph. At home, her mother played a grainy video of the performance, recorded by a parent. Emily watched, barely recognizing the girl on stage, bold, powerful, her voice unwavering. "That's you," her mother said, squeezing her hand. The video had spread online, shared across X and local groups, racking up views. Strangers commented, "Who is she?" Her voice gave me chills. Emily's heart swelled, but fear lingered. Could she live up to this? Ms. Carter called her to the music room, a new spark in her eyes. "A local choir wants you to audition," she said. This could be a start, Emily. The idea thrilled and terrified her. Singing was her sanctuary, but performing again meant risking failure. That afternoon, Sam found her practicing. "You're a legend now," he teased, but his grin was kind. He'd fixed the stage lights for her next rehearsal. Emily laughed, grateful for his quiet support. At night, she sat with her notebook, penning new lyrics. Her song had changed her world, but it was just one moment. Could she keep going? The choir audition loomed, a chance to prove she wasn't a fluke. Emily closed her eyes, humming softly. Her voice, once hidden, was now her power. She was ready to try again. Emily stood at the edge of a new beginning, her song still echoing in her heart. The choir audition was days away, and though nerves gnawed at her, she felt a fire she'd never known. Her mother, scrimping every penny, bought her a second-hand microphone to practice. "Keep singing, Em," she said, her voice fierce with belief. At school, Emily was no longer invisible. Teachers praised her, classmates listened when she spoke, and even Chloe's taunts had faded into silence. The video of her performance kept spreading online, shared across X with thousands of likes. "She's a star," one post read, and Emily blushed, hardly believing it. Ms. Carter coached her daily, refining her raw talent. "Your voice tells a story," she said. "Never lose that." Sam, ever loyal, helped her record a demo, his shy smile a constant encouragement. The audition arrived, held in a small community center. Emily wore her faded dress, now a symbol of her journey. Other singers, polished and confident, filled the room, but Emily didn't shrink. When her turn came, she stepped forward, mic in hand. Her song, new, born from her notebook, poured out, raw and soulful. The judges leaned in, eyes wide, as her voice filled the space. When she finished, applause erupted, louder than she'd expected. Weeks later, the call came. She'd made the choir, with a scholarship to train further. Emily's mother wept, and Emily hugged her, whispering, "We did it." Her life was changing, poverty still lingered, but her voice was her way forward. From a poor girl in the shadows, Emily had become a beacon. Her story, her song, would carry on, inspiring others to find their own light.